Okay, so it's odd, but I'm recording this video literally as the Red Wings and Flyers game is going on. It's 9:15 a.m. PST, Saturday, February 12th, and because of the weird way we're scheduling everything, this video isn't going to be uploaded until tomorrow, 24 hours from now. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's going to work out, though, because we do have ourselves a good topic here today that is really something that I wanted to highlight, but of course, because the Red Wings are playing right now as I speak, I'm not too sure if this entire discussion would still reign 100% true by the time tomorrow rolls around, maybe like 97, 98% true, depending on if Seider has a bad game or whatever, but either way, spoiler alert, we're talking about Detroit Red Wings defenseman Moritz Seider. Or should I start saying Mo Seider? That's probably another thing I should have brought up. Is it Moritz Seider or Mo Seider? Because I've been saying Moritz ever since the 2019 NHL Entry Draft, but everywhere on the broadcast, all over Instagram comments and everything, it's Mo. So let me know in the comments. What do you think? But either way, Moritz Seider is still a guy who has come out here and shown himself off in the best way possible, especially when it comes to what we saw Wednesday night against the same Philadelphia Flyers team. We had ourselves this article on octopusthrower.com that I will leave a link to in the description, so go ahead and give them their ad views. Moritz Seider is leaving no doubt as the NHL's best rookie, published by Nate Brown. What Brown pretty much talks about in this article is about how even though Moritz Seider is not as flashy as a Trevor Zegras, even though he doesn't really have as many points, even though he'll probably be a runner-up in the Calder voting because that's just kind of how voters for these kinds of awards work, Moritz Seider is the best player through and through when it comes to the guys in the rookie class. Now, the Calder isn't necessarily the trophy awarded to the best player who happens to be a rookie. We've said this before, but the Calder is awarded to the rookie that has the best season. So the very nature of the rule itself kind of lends a very different hand to voters when it comes to choosing who wins the award. They don't usually just look at, okay, who is the prime best player out of the bunch? They say, okay, out of the guys who have done rookie things in the NHL, who is the most impressive, who's gotten the most points, who's been the most talked about, who's been the most flashy, who has had the best season. You could have bad seasons if you're a good player. It happens all the time. And so, even though Seider isn't necessarily having a bad season per se, his season isn't really the game-shattering, dazzling, razzling, all-star inviting game like Trevor Zegras' season is, or it's not the number one point guy amongst the rookie class season like Lucas Raymond is having. So, even though you have yourself Seider, who may very well be the best pure player, he's not having the best season compared to the other guys, so therefore he might not win the Calder, which is kind of what a lot of people expected anyway. This article goes over just a few things that a lot of people have been talking about. In particular, there is a Twitter thread that is linked here. Brad Christo of the Wing Wheeled Pod said that PK sequence from Mo Seider was absolutely unreal. He killed a huge chunk of time with the puck on his stick. He basically played keep away against the entire Flyers team, and he won. Zegras says, I can do puck tricks. Seider says, I can kill an entire penalty by myself. Now, another thing I wanted to highlight before we got deeper into this conversation, I know a lot of people out there who are not Red Wings fans are kind of going out there and believing that the Red Wings fan base is super salty about Trevor Zegras, and they're all trying to degrade his play and talk about why Seider and Raymond are better. And while I don't doubt that some Red Wings fans might be bad apples, you know, there are bad apples in every organization's fan base, I do think that the majority of Red Wings fans can look at a guy like Trevor Zegras and appreciate the skills that he does have, and say, okay, look, even though this guy might be fighting our guys for the Calder Trophy, like, do you not want to see what this guy's going to do next? Michigan goals, Michigan assists, Pavel Barber blindfolded shootout lacrosse goals while being pestered with dodgeballs, like that stuff's cool, is it not? And I think a lot of Red Wings fans can go out there and agree that it is cool. But what this also brings up, the entire idea of Seider being maybe the tertiary, secondary runner-up, actually no, tertiary, secondary finisher in the Calder race, right, because runner-up already implies that you are one step below. It brings up a bigger discussion as to other players in the Red Wings organization who have never really been given those props and who didn't win the Calder either. This article that I was talking about on octopusthrower.com was posted onto the Red Wings subreddit, and in the comments there is a discussion that I wanted to read over here for you. Amazing Steve commented this: if he wins the Calder or not, he's having a very good year, and Zegras is talented as well. I don't get the Calder or bust mentality. Major Shoe replies, "It's just because the Calder has been a just-miss scenario for so many great wings over the past decades. Yzerman, Lidstrom, Federov." Federov? Come on, bro. Are you serious? Zetterberg. "We haven't had a Calder winner since 1965. People are getting toxic because Seider is dominating in a way that is extremely rare in rookies. This is probably the best rookie the league has seen since Matthews, and Zegras is getting more attention and even came out ahead in the midseason vote. I love Zegras, he's awesome to watch, but at this point it would probably be robbery to not give it to Seider. And yes, it's better to have the best rookie than the most recognized rookie, but we really want that Calder. It just sucks that bitterness and competitiveness is making us minimize other rookies. I honestly feel that Lundell, Raymond, and Zegras would all be Calder material in most years. Their rookie crop is just incredible this year. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm not really too sure if that last point is correct. Kirill Kaprizov won the Calder by absolutely smoking the entire NHL last year. You had yourselves, of course, Cale Makar, who was a beast, and then Elias Pettersson was also a beast. He was under a point per game. Barzal was over a point per game. Matthews got like 30 goals. So I don't want to make it seem like the rookie race is usually like as tight where guys with 0.7 point per game ratings are all up in there in the top of the voting, but either way, this is a pretty good point to bring up, and it comes back to other Red Wings prospects turned rookies who have been Calder runner-ups. The most recent one was freaking Jimmy Howard in 2010. He came second to Tyler Myers, and that's kind of one of the things that you go out there and you see, okay, Tyler Myers was like a 40-point defenseman as an 18-year-old, 6'8", or whatever the heck that guy is. Of course he was going to get votes. Howard, though, of course, he's a goaltender. You go back down to 2003, Barrett Jackman from the Blues wins over Zetterberg, and this was one of the more controversial ones for sure. It's just back then, plus-minus was really taken into account, apparently, which is why he was given such an edge. Plus, he had the most ice time of all the rookies because he was relied upon immediately. And so, I get it. You can go out there and say, okay, if Barrett Jackman can beat out Zetterberg in 2003, or whatever the heck it was, with less than 20 points on the year, then Seider can beat out anybody else easy peasy, right? Well, different times, different measures, right? We'll see. Then you have yourselves, of course, the back-to-back runner-ups in 1991 and 1992. Sergei Federov in 91 lost to Ed Belfour of the Blackhawks, and in 92, Nick Lidstrom lost to Pavel Bure of the Canucks. Now, Belfour, goaltender, different kind of scaling, right? Pavel Bure is an absolute legend in and of itself, so I don't want to make it seem like this was the biggest snub in the world, especially for me here in Vancouver, knowing the impact that Pavel Bure had on this city immediately, fresh off the boat. Actually, no, not fresh off the boat. He came via plane to YVR, so yeah, scratch that last sentence. But either way, Lidstrom, Fedorov both did not get the Calder. They were runner-ups, and then you go back to 1984, and Steve Yzerman gets beat up by another goaltender. This time it's Tom Barrasso of the Buffalo Sabres. So a lot of legends over here for the Red Wings, barely getting edged out. Of course, you have Zetterberg, and you have Yzerman, you have Fedorov, Lidstrom, and then, of course, you have the Jimmy Howard as well, who is in there too. And then you go back into the 80s and the 70s, and you see a lot more guys that are sort of, you know, they're good, but they're not really like legends of the Red Wings. Mike Foligno, Marcel Dion, you have Bert Marshall here. The last time the Red Wings won the Calder was in 65, Roger Crozier, so you can see it goes back to a few other more familiar names, especially as you get a lot older. You have guys like Glenn Hall, Terry Sawchuk, Red Kelly in the 50s and all that, so yeah, we're kind of past the territory of common conversation here, but either way, if Seider goes out there and he's like a runner-up, third runner-up, second runner-up, he doesn't win, then the fact is he's joining a long list of Red Wings legends who have also come in second, or some of them even third. I mean, there wasn't really anybody we discussed here in this video that came in third, aside from Red Kelly, but like, there are a lot of runner-ups that don't really get the same level of superstar status as the Calder winner usually does, but that's okay, because they can still carve out great careers for themselves. The Calder, at the end of the day, is for the best rookie season, not necessarily for the best rookie, and that's pretty much evident by the way it's worded on the description on the NHL website. First awarded in the 32-33 season, the Calder Trophy is... no, not the Calder Trophy, that's the AHL award. The Calder Memorial Trophy is presented annually to the player selected as the most proficient in his first year of competition. And so that means best rookie season. Not the best rookie, per se, but the guy in his first year who has the most impressive year. Most proficient. Maybe most proficient would describe Seider, because the word proficient kind of implies a level of two-way sophistication that not all the other prospects and rookies have, I would think. But either way, talk to me in the comments, what do you think about Seider being maybe just another name in the line of Red Wings runner-ups, with Yzerman, with Fedorov, with Lidstrom, with all these other legends over here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.